How your silence breaks a narcissist's mind. The observer's shield. The character is in a conversation with someone he knows well, or thought he knew well. The other person is talking, explaining why the character's reaction to something was wrong, why his feelings about a situation were an overreaction, why the version of events he remembers isn't quite what happened. The character listens. His expression doesn't change. The other person keeps going, adding details, shifting the frame slightly, making the character the problem in a story where the character was fairly certain he was not the problem. The voice stays reasonable, the tone stays warm, but something underneath it is working very hard. The character says nothing, and something interesting happens. The other person, who was calm and controlled a moment ago, and starts to lose the thread slightly. The explanation gets longer. The reasoning loops back on itself. A flash of something, not quite anger, not quite panic, crosses their face before they recover it. The character still says nothing. You have been here. Not necessarily with those exact words or that exact person, but in that exact dynamic. Someone working very hard to get a reaction from you.
Maybe without knowing why.
And something in you, maybe without knowing why, choosing not to give it. What you did not know in that moment was how much power you were holding. Because what just happened, the loop, the flash, the recovery, that was a narcissist's mind beginning to break. And your silence was the thing that broke it. A quiet room, the character alone, thinking back through the dynamic. He is not angry. He is analytical. He wants to understand the mechanism, not for revenge, but because understanding is what he does. To understand why silence breaks a narcissist, you first have to understand what a narcissist is actually running on. The narcissistic personality, whether clinically diagnosable or simply high on the spectrum of narcissistic behavior, is built around a fundamental structural problem. At the core, beneath the confidence, beneath the control, beneath the carefully maintained image of superiority, there is a self that cannot regulate its own worth. The character stands, moves to the window. Outside, the city continues indifferently. Normal people have what psychologists call internal self-regulation, the ability to maintain a stable sense of self-worth regardless of external feedback. Good days, bad days, criticism, praise. The foundation holds because it is anchored inside. The narcissist does not have this. Their self-worth is entirely externally dependent. It requires constant supply, constant attention, constant reaction, constant confirmation that they matter, that they are superior, that they have power over the environment. Without that supply, the self-structure begins to destabilize. This is not a metaphor. It is a neurological condition. The narcissist's brain cannot self-soothe. It can only be soothed from outside. The character understands this now. He looks back at the conversation with different eyes. Every provocative statement, every reframing of reality, every guilt trip and manipulation. None of it was about him. All of it was about supply. The narcissist needed a reaction, any reaction, agreement, anger, hurt, undefensiveness. All of it functions as confirmation that they have power over the target's emotional state, that they exist, that they matter. And the character gave them nothing. Which means, from the narcissist's perspective, something far more threatening than anger happened. They were ignored by their own supply. A later scene, the same person, the narcissist, tries a different approach, softer this time, more vulnerable. A confession of something, an appeal to the character's empathy. The character listens with genuine attention, He is not cold. He is not cruel. He simply does not perform the emotional rescue the moment is designed to produce. He says, "I hear you," and then he moves on to something else. Here is the specific mechanism of what silence does to the narcissistic mind. The narcissist's entire social strategy depends on predictability. They need to know which buttons produce which reactions. They spend enormous energy mapping the emotional landscape of the people around them, learning where the guilt lives, where the need for approval lives, where the fear of conflict lives. This map is their operating manual. It is how they control their environment. The character is unmappable, not because he is defended, not because he is performing indifference, but because his emotional responses are internally organized rather than externally available. The buttons the narcissist is pressing are not connected to the reactions they expect. The narcissist presses guilt. The character feels something, processes it internally, and produces a response that doesn't match. The narcissist presses superiority. The character registers it, evaluates it, and returns to neutral. The narcissist escalates. The character slows down. Every mismatch between the expected reaction and the actual response is a small system error in the narcissist's model. And system errors, accumulated over time, produce something the narcissist is profoundly unprepared for: cognitive dissonance. The map doesn't match the territory. The control they believed they had isn't there. The person they were certain they had figured out keeps producing data that doesn't fit the model. And a narcissist who cannot read their environment is a narcissist who cannot regulate their internal state. The breakdown begins quietly. The loops in the explanation. The overreach in the reaction. The moments of something real flickering through the performance. And the character watching all of this with calm, analytical eyes. He is not enjoying it. He is just watching the mechanism run. The character at a table with the narcissist again. A meal, something ordinary. The narcissist says something designed to diminish, subtle enough to deny, precise enough to land. The kind of comment that is constructed to produce a visible flinch without leaving evidence. The character looks at them, not coldly, not warmly. With the same steady, analytical calm, he brings to everything. He says, and returns to his food. This is the silent counter, and it is more devastating than any argument. Here's why. The narcissist's diminishment only functions if it produces a reaction. The reaction is the point. The visible flinch, the defensive response, the attempt to repair the image, all of it confirms that the comment had power, that the narcissist had power, that the target is someone whose self-worth can be adjusted from the outside. When the character says and moves on, several things happen simultaneously in the narcissist's mind. First, the diminishment failed. The comment that was supposed to land did not visibly land. This is a direct threat to the narcissist's model of the character and of themselves. Second, the character's non-reaction cannot be challenged. There is no argument to have, no defense to dismantle. The character simply did not give the comment the weight it demanded. And the narcissist cannot say, "Why didn't you react?" They would be admitting they expected a reaction. Admitting the comment was designed to produce one. Third, the narcissist is now alone with the failed attempt. Nobody witnessed it land. Nobody witnessed it matter. In the narcissist's internal landscape, an attack that produces no reaction is an attack that didn't happen, which means it didn't give them anything, which means they used up energy and got nothing. This is the drain. Not dramatic, not visible. Just the quiet, consistent depletion of a system that cannot produce the supply it requires. Over time, this depletion does something remarkable. The character who does not react becomes a source of profound anxiety for the narcissist. Not hatred, anxiety. Because the character represents the failure of the narcissist's most fundamental operating system, a person they cannot read, cannot control, cannot extract from. And a narcissist who cannot control their environment loses the ability to regulate their internal state. The mind begins to fracture around the edges. A different day. The character is in a group. The narcissist is there too, working the room, finding easier targets, getting the reactions they need from people who don't know what is happening. The character watches. He does not intervene. He does not warn. He does not engage in the parallel performance of demonstrating that he sees through it. He simply exists. Calm, present, unreadable. The narcissist glances at him once. Something in their expression, a flicker of something that, in a different person, you might call respect. In this person, it is closer to wariness. The character is the one variable in the room that doesn't compute. The one person the narcissist cannot place. Here is what you need to understand about your role in this dynamic. You did not choose to be this way as a defense against narcissists. You did not develop your stillness and your internal orientation as a strategy. It is simply how you are, how you have always been. The calm that comes from processing the world at depth before reacting to it. The illegibility that comes from having an inner life that is rich enough not to require constant external validation. The narcissist encountered you and found, for once, a person they could not map, could not run their program on, could not extract from. That is not something you built against them. It is something you were before they arrived. The character looks away from the narcissist, back to his own conversation, his own world. The narcissist does not exist in his field of concern, only in his field of observation. And observation for the narcissist is the most unsettling thing of all. To be seen clearly, without reaction, without the performance of being affected. That is the one thing their entire psychological structure is not built to survive. The character walking home alone after the gathering. The city is quiet. He is thinking about the dynamic, not with anger, not with satisfaction, with the calm interest of someone who understands mechanisms. Here is the final thing to understand about the observer's shield. It is not a weapon you aim. It is not a technique you deploy in the moment of contact. It is the natural consequence of being someone whose inner world is stable enough not to need the approval, the validation, or the emotional management of people who were never going to offer it honestly anyway. The narcissist's mind breaks around your silence, not because your silence is an attack, but because your silence is proof, quiet, consistent, undeniable proof that you are not available for what they are selling. And a salesperson who cannot sell in the only environment they know how to navigate is not just frustrated. They are lost. The character stops at a corner, looks up. The sky above the city is dark and full. You have been the observer's shield your entire life. You just didn't have a name for it. Now you do. Subscribe, because every week we decode another layer of the psychology behind the dynamics that most people are living inside without knowing the mechanism, the defenses that already exist in you, the power that was always there. Your silence is not nothing. It never was. It is the most precise thing about you. And for the people who need noise to feel powerful, it is the one thing they will never be able to take from you.